Hey, what's up, everyone? Brad Chmielewski here with episode 160 of Shatter The Vain. I feel like weeks go by fast. Episode numbers keep climbing. We're gonna get to 200 here. Well, in what, 40 more episodes? So yeah, we'll be there soon. But yeah, this week is a really fun episode. I got some of the new Immortals squad joining me to talk about the shakeups that went down at EchoFox a couple weeks ago. Go back and watch that episode or listen to it. Really fun. I think we had, 5 or 6 people on, so it was just a blast with Slow Dead and Fuji and the rest of the team there. This week we're talking about what's happened with Immortals. Vains is out. Vains heads over to Gangstars. T-Tigers is joining. This team sounds strong. I cannot wait to see them play, see what's going to happen here in the Vainglory 8. I think they're definitely going to be up there, and should be an interesting season. I think this season of summer is going to be intense to watch. I think the players are going to have more time to practice and play without school. I know a lot of the players are younger, like Zio. Just school gets in the way. School's important. Can't be sacrificing that for Vainglory. So now that school's out, summer's here, it's going to be all Vainglory for a lot of these players of the game, and I think it's going to up the skill throughout. So it should be fun to watch. We also talk a little bit about Grace. She gets released here in Update 2.6. You've probably seen some people streaming her. Videos get released, people from the PBE and whatnot. So we talk about her ability. She seems pretty darn strong. Just on paper, there's a lot going on, and I cannot wait to dive in and start playing her as well. So we close out there talking about her. And then want to mention the Patreon page before we jump into the full episode here. That's over at patreon.com/shatterthevain. If you can support the show, that would be awesome. Need to figure out, we'll do some more rewards or giveaways, whatnot over there. Still trying to maybe redo some stuff there, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you can support the show, that would be awesome. Thank you. And on iTunes, if you're subscribed, leave a review. If you're listening to this right now and you go to iTunes, hit that review button. Just let me know what you think of the show. How can I improve? How can it be better? What more do you want to hear? That always helps after 160 episodes. Kind of get stale. What else do we need to do here? How can we mix things up? Leave a comment, send me a tweet, and let me know. All right, let's do it. Let's get into 160.
Shatter the Vain.
This is the 160th episode of Shatter the Vain. My name is Brad Chmielewski, and this is a podcast all about Vainglory. Every week, I try to break down the news, gameplay, game tips, and hopefully we can all become better players together. And every week, bringing on people within the community, people that love this game. And a couple weeks ago, I had the new EchoFox roster on. So this week, I had to get Immortals on to see what's shaking up, the new team that's coming out for this summer season. So this week, I'm joined by SuiJeneris and DNzio. Welcome, guys.
Hey, great to be here.
Yeah.
For people that don't know who you are, which would be, I think, surprising for both of you at this point, but you want to give a little introduction of who you are and role on the team?
Sure. This is Jeff SuiJeneris Chow. I'm the Immortals head coach and also the Vainglory 8 desk analyst. And I've been playing the game since it was released in the Singapore beta. So I was in the pro scene, etc. And now I'm a coach for a fantastic team. Maybe not Zio, though.
Well, I'm DNzio, and my real name's Riley Hagion, and I play lane for
Have you been playing just as long, Zio?
I played like a few months after the game was launched.
Okay. But so yeah, you've both been with it. As myself, we've been with it for a couple of years now. It's kind of crazy to think where it was and where it is now.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the new team roster and the shakeups that are happening, but I kind of want to step back and first kind of talk about the Unified Championships that happened in London here. How did that go? I know that you guys maybe didn't have the team that you wanted to go and just kind of some issues there, but overall, how do you think the event went?
Yeah, I think it went well for us given our roster situation. I had to come in as a starter, so I played captain and jungle if it fit the right draft. For example, I played a lot of glaive at the live unified championships in London, and I think that for us, given the situation we're in, we felt good about the first series win over Hammers. We also felt we could have beat G2 though, and I felt like we had some very interesting drafts that didn't work in our favor, and we just kind of tilted. If you look at like the first day versus second day, there's a big difference in how we played, and it just kind of affected us that second day. It was like we were all playing sick or something, so it was very interesting. But it was a great experience. Zio definitely did really well. Veins also did really well live on stage, as we normally do when we do get to a live stage. So it really showed us what we could do and really gave us hope for the future.
And besides like the tournament side, I think it was really cool getting to meet the Europe players, because the only time I ever met any Europe players was at Worlds. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. So is this like a better thing to do this EU versus NA every season rather than the only NA, only EU? I feel like it's a better, I guess, fit for the event and the idea of it all.
I think I liked it separate. But yeah, I just think I liked it separate.
I liked it combined. I think it gives a great storyline. It really showcases both regions. It gets fans of EU and NA to watch other EU NA teams, and I think overall the synergy and the combination was great. The venue was awesome. ESL did a great job of producing the event. So I like the unified championship. We definitely should continue that, and really showcase and keep the storyline, the NAEU storylines going.
Yeah, I like the storylines. I do feel like maybe just the focused events do bring in more people, especially when they are here in the NA. Like more people are gonna be able to come out for it and show up to these, versus it's hard for a lot of NA people to travel overseas. I know there's always issues with visas and schools and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, I think they will continue this, because I gotta say it's got to be easier on the Super Evil Megacorp staff to do one event rather than worrying about back-to-back weekends of championships and planning for that. That's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, honestly.
But you guys have been to, I think, every championship or live championship event pretty much at this point, right?
Besides the first one.
Yes, I've been to the first one as an attendee. We almost qualified too, which is kind of sad that I'm around it. But yeah, I've been to every single live event. It just keeps getting better and better every single time, which is great.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Like, you're seeing, I guess, we know I can see the graphics get better, and the viewers can see the talent on the stage, not only performing but at the desk too, seems better and just more put together every time. It's neat to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So at this point, I think either you guys, when you're on stage, just the nerves and the experience just helps at this point, kind of over some of the other people that are maybe just getting into it or getting picked up from these challenger teams.
Yeah,
I would say Zio. Sorry, Zio. I would say Zio has the best live stage presence. I don't know, this kid. He's just so cute on stage and does a lot of like taunts and stuff like that. And he just plays so well and so comfortable on stage. So Zio, I'm sure you can talk about it.
Well, like after the more tournaments you play over time, it's just like, especially live tournaments, I feel like it's just right when you get on stage, it's like more than just vainglory. And like, I think if you could use that, I think it could make you play better too.
Use the like live, like the energy there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. It's something you can't train for. It's just something you have to embrace and, I guess, learn from each time, right? Mm-hmm. Nice. So now let's talk about this new Immortals roster, this new squad that's going to be playing here in the summer season. SuiJ, if you wanted to run it down, who's on the team and kind of the changes this year.
Yeah, so we had a somewhat of a shakeup, I would say. Definitely, it's so I'll be on as coach, of course. Zio is our laner. Danes and Aloha 4 are leaving the team or left the team, and we're bringing on Max Green, who's our new captain, and T Tigers, who's our starting jungler. And we definitely want to thank, Vains and Aloha for all their hard work and wish them the best in their future efforts, which, Vains will be on Gangstar, which is super exciting to see him compete with that team. And I think with our new roster, I'm super excited about the potential of the roster. We are already performing very well. They've been only playing like 3 days together, and the synergy is already there. The communication is there. It's like a perfect team that's ready to play perfectly when, championships and live events stage happens. And everyone knows T Tigers, everyone knows Zio, but I think a star on that team is definitely Max Green as well. He's kind of a sleeping giant is what we love to call him. He's going to be making a lot of splash, so to speak, once he gets more confident, continues to improve his mechanics. He's already mechanically gifted, but he's definitely someone to look out for. If you've seen VIS Pro, he did a lot of great plays along with Zio and Tigers following up with his Lance play and Lyra plays, etc. And overall, this team has so much potential, and we're super happy at IMT. We also have a great sub, Excelsior, on the team. He's been helping the team a lot with strategy, drafts. He plays a huge role as well. And in addition, our analyst, Hot Sauce, he's kind of the secret, God analyst on the side there. But he's been amazing help for us as well.
Nice. Is there, I guess, what was the reason for this change up? I know you guys kind of struggled there at the end of the last season. Were you just looking to kind of just up the ante for this season, or could someone not play? Like we haven't heard anything where Aloha is going, or if he needed to step away. Yeah,
I can answer this first, and I'll pass it to Zio, since it actually started the conversation with Zio. And looking from a point, when a team, the players weren't bad. I mean, Aloha's a very good player, Vain's a very good player, Zio's a good player. It's really came down to who worked well together, and I felt like the synergy that they used to have back then when they were really good was gone. People change, communication change, relationships change. And that's where, we had to decide between Aloha or DNzio. And the decision was to, put our buckets into, or I guess, eggs into Zio's basket.
Okay.
Zio's cute basket. So that's when I asked Zio, okay, who would you want to play with? And I'm close with T Tigers and Max Green. I played with T Tigers for a long time. I've been their coach and support. Tigers is like my bro, so to speak. Max Green and I are very close. I have a lot of respect for him. We always message each other, lovely notes and stuff in game and stuff. It's pretty funny. But he's actually was a Nemesis when I was leading Nemesis, and then he joined Hammers when I was in Hammers and led Hammers. And I knew ever since then that this guy is budding talent that's gonna make his splash on the scene, and he's gonna do it with this roster for sure. But I'll let Zio kind of take the story, because I kind of asked him, who do you want to play with, and really he can share his side of the story there for sure.
Definitely with our old roster, I agree with Sui. Like, our synergy wasn't as good as all the other teams, and it definitely showed throughout the Vainglory 8's splits. But I think what we needed was a fresh new lineup, and Tiggs wanted to join Immortals, and I think Tiggs played phenomenal with Hammers during the splits, and to pass him up is a big mistake. So I definitely wanted to play with him because he's just an insane player, and I definitely felt like we would be a very strong team if we could get a good support. And Tiggs and I feel like we could dominate a lot of top teams.
So how'd you get why'd the eggs go on your basket instead of Aloha's? Like, how'd you convince him of that?
I think how I played during the Unified Championship definitely swayed opinions.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and Zio, when Zio is motivated and commits and enjoys his time, I think he just excels, and he is the best laner. Right now, not many people would put him as a top laner. If you look at the TSM Reddit, they said because they couldn't put Chuck, but said old school starting in Truth with our top 3 laners. But I think Zio is definitely the best laner and should be up there along with Chuck and old school. And we knew that the potential was there. It was just what team could unleash that potential. And we're super happy with the roster that we have now. And little that people know, actually, I talked to, now that we can talk about it since they're no longer a contract and stuff, but, I've been in contact with a lot of the players and kind of already knew where the movements were going and which players wanted to join which teams and play with which support staff and etc. So a lot of this was really something that just kind of magically happened given our roster situation and the live event experience, and it kind of just all naturally came together and worked out really well for us.
Very cool. And then, you mentioned that Excelsior's one of the subs now. He was on Gangstars. The subs seem to be like a big part of this season. Like every team, I think, has 2 subs. Is there a reason for this? Is it like kind of prepping for 5v5 to come and like making sure the talent and the players are there when it does come up, or is this something that Super Evil just wants in place?
It's nothing mandated by SCMC. For us, it is our first paid sub IMT. We did have God of Sins. He wasn't a contracted sub. He's someone that, synergized well with Veins and played a lot with Veins. So that's why we added him in case, Aloha has another emergency situation that he had during the split where I had to jump off the desk and jump to play. That was a pretty fun experience as well. I think for this, Excelsior brings a lot to the table, not only as a superstar sub, because he can sub for Zio and play really well. People know him for his Saw, but his Gwen, his other heroes, actually extremely strong. And, in case something happens to Zio, he gets really sick or emergencies happen, we have a very viable sub. And Excelsior can play all roles. He's not the best with Captain, of course, but he can do it and support Zio and Tiger. So he fills in a lot of roles really well. And he adds a lot of value because he's super smart. He's in his prime. He's extremely talented. And this is a hedge for 5v5, like you said. We are expecting 5v5 to take off, be announced at the end of this year, and then take off in 2018. So this is definitely a futuristic hedge for us. Because I know Excelsior is going to play a big role in a competitive scene once 5v5 comes out.
And
go ahead.
And I think like if you have a sub, it's a big advantage because you're having another opinion. And like for example, if I do something wrong, Excelsior can tell me how to do something even better. And just having more opinions is really important, I think.
Yeah, it seems like every Vainglory released the rosters this time. Everybody had the sub, so it felt like people are just kind of almost like locking down this talent to know like we're gonna need this guy at some point.
Yeah.
So, and then as far as like subbing in, SuiJe, you just said you had to jump in a couple times, and we saw that when you were on the desk. Do you like playing more than the desk? Is there like, I know you have to fill in, so you don't really have a necessarily choice there sometimes, but would you rather be doing one or the other?
Yeah, it's such a difficult question because I truly believe, even though I'm a grandpa right now compared to all these kids, but I truly believe if I applied myself, I could be a very formidable and top captain in the game, and leverage just my in-game knowledge and strategic sense would take me very far. It'll be great to win championships as a starting player. But I think being on the desk and the experience so far, I definitely would say now I like it more being on a desk because I feel like I can impact more, players, more viewers. I got so much feedback from NA and especially EU actually, which is really surprising. A lot of EU pro players reached out to me from top rosters and said, thank you so much. You helped me, learn this hero better, understand, your analysis a lot better, and it helps our team, etc. So it was great and very humbling. And I feel like I make a bigger impact as being an analyst on the desk. And, if you look at it from a more macro, big picture perspective, I want to be where I can make a bigger impact, and I think being on a desk has been, I got lucky because Humanist had a baby. If he didn't have that life event, they probably would have never subbed me in. And then from there, it was natural. Like the first day I did it, it was just so natural. It went so well. And I really enjoy being on a desk because I help not only players get better, but I help viewers enjoy and understand the game better too, and engage further into the game. So I think like the analyst desk is critical, I feel, with a lot of esports where players want to learn and listen to things that make sense, that can help you play the game better no matter what tier you are. I think that's a big part of the viewer experience, and I know that that's something that was a work in progress. So I'm glad to be of help there.
Yeah, I think that was something that was missing was the player. When Fuji was on, it added like another insight to the game that the casters, like, they play the game, but they don't play the game. That's the only way to say it. Like they know it really well, so I think it's great you're on the desk and you're going to be on again this season, right?
Yes, I am. I have not announced it on Twitter, but I will be on for season, which is exciting.
I feel like this almost gives Immortals and you guys like an unfair advantage because you're having to watch these games and talk about them like more in depth than maybe some of the other coaches are. So you can see what everyone's doing, like outside of NA even, that you don't have to focus on.
Yeah, the funny thing is every coach has the same access that I do. You know, I still will watch all the games, EU or NA, and analyze it and kind of look at what we can take from EU that we can bring over to NA. So I've done that before in my role. And I feel like being on a desk actually doesn't give me any advantage. I would say it will probably maybe be a slight disadvantage because I'm not physically or with the team when it comes to like voice comms and discussing the plays with them. However, I do take a lot of notes about the games while I'm on the desk because between the desk when the casters are on, I actually take notes of early, mid, late game, and then I'll send the notes to my team, and any coach can take the exact same notes and do the exact same thing that I do. So if anything, I would say it's more work for me because I have to, you know, pay attention and do all this and also look at EU. So it might be kind of a disadvantage in terms of me being able to focus more time on maybe reviewing scrims that we've had recently that are more specific to my team. But I think they do benefit from my more detailed analysis. I don't share on stream the detailed analysis because it's just too much information, but they do get to review it. And I think it's good information for anyone to have. And I don't think they even read it because it's pretty long.
The truth comes out, yeah. So then coming into the summer season here, I feel like you guys and a lot of teams are just going to be performing better this summer season because school is done. People are kind of like the commitments aren't there as much. Like they can focus on the game. Do you guys feel like that's going to be a benefit to you guys?
Yeah, Zio can take this one away. I'm sure he can share a lot of his insights here.
Oh yeah, I definitely think summer will impact the season, and especially for younger players because I think in spring season I personally didn't feel like I was playing as well as all like for example like Chuck, like TSM, they were playing to a really strong level and they don't have school, and I feel like that is a reason why I wasn't performing as well because I didn't have enough time to improve. But I think for summer, like you have more time to play, more time to practice new things and to become more consistent, and I think summer is going to be very competitive because everyone's going to be playing at such a stronger level cap.
Yeah, like not being able to, like the scrims, like you guys can do at better times. Not everyone's tired and like I got to get homework done or I got to get this paper. So that's awesome to hear. I think it's going to be interesting to watch. I think it's going to be an intense season.
Yeah, you'll have no distractions.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think excited to see you guys play this season. So this is great. Then I guess a little bit outside of Vainglory here, but I wanted to touch on this a little bit because SuiJ, you're a big Clash Royale player. You help, I think, run the tournaments, right? Or a tournament for Clash Royale, right?
Yeah, I didn't help run it, but I definitely work or are in touch with the people at NGE who produce it, and I am talking to like the producers in terms of the developers. I do have a connection to some of the Supercell folks there. They're super nice. I wouldn't say I played a big role at all. I'm just very in touch with the scene, and just I give feedback more than kind of directive, if anything, in terms of, you know, how they're doing their esports and stuff like that. And also run a clan team league that has been very successful for the past 2 seasons, etc. So yeah.
Okay. Well, then this week, Supercell announced this Brawl Stars game, which is interesting because, you know, it's a mobile game, but it kind of jumps on this bandwagon of these brawl modes like Blitz and ARAM and everything else we've been seeing here in Vainglory, but kind of simplifies it a lot. And it's very interesting to see. I was wondering if you guys had seen it yet or played it, and if you had any thoughts on it. I got a few games in, but I'm still like still seeing if it's maybe something I like or not.
Yeah, I definitely have watched this few streams. I haven't downloaded the game yet because it was released in the Canadian App Store, not the US yet. It's basically like a battle right and a blitz put together. It's kind of like Vainglory's blitz mode. You know, it's very simplistic. It's kind of joystick controls, top down, which is very interesting. It's very different, I would say. It looks very simple, easy to learn and play. So I think it will be successful, giving Supercell's marketing muscle and all that they're going to do to promote it. And it's a very easy game to pick up. Regarding competitive scene or esports potential, I think it's way too casual, way too simplistic.
Okay.
You know, the key is it going to be simple to master, but extremely simple to learn, but extremely hard to master. There has to be a significant skill gap in the skill set. And I feel like for Clash Royale 2, it's half is luck. It's based on your card cycle and what card deck you pick versus skill. Skill definitely plays a big role in Clash Royale, but I feel like this may be the same situation because you get to level up your heroes and get more attack damage if you put more money in the game and stuff like that. So we'll see how it pans out, but I definitely think it's going to be very successful, and it's going to definitely have a huge audience because it's such an easy pickup game, and they really get mobile really well at Supercell.
Yeah, I'm always interested to see like how like the mobile esports scene, like we all I think want to see more people watching and playing Vainglory. So hopefully this game maybe gets on people's radar as kind of this genre maybe that they haven't seen, even if it's the Brawl modes going into more of the MOBA kind of 20-minute matches. Kind of, yeah, this should be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, then a couple news items before we wrap up here. I just kind of wanted to touch on update 2.6 and Grace and get your guys' opinion on what you think might happen.
Vainglory News.
So, first off, 2.6 should be released here on Wednesday. It's the end of the season. We're going to have that downtime stream of, all the changes and everything are going to get dropped in there. We're going to see the skill tier. What is it? A compression this time. It's not necessarily a reset, but it's kind of compression. I think a little different than we might have saw. What was the last one? Like almost a year ago, maybe? I think that was probably about the last reset / compression. What do you guys think about the reset idea? I know a lot of people maybe in the simply amazing and lower are kind of looking forward to this and kind of getting people out of the skill tiers that aren't necessarily they should be in.
Yeah, I think the skill tier reset is good. I think they should do it more often. It just, motivates people to push that visual skill tier, but also it's good to reset MMR and put people in the same playing field because, there's a lot of, feedback in the community about vainglorious players or even like hotness or simply amazing or pinnacle of awesome. They're not performing to what their skill tier is stating because, they're going to get some players that just play the game so much and they grind so much that they're going to get vainglorious. And I played with a lot of people who are vainglorious who play like they're more, POA bronze versus vainglorious bronze. So I feel like this is much needed. I think they should do it much more often to reset and kind of balance and realign or calibrate, so to speak, the MMR with the visual skill tier, because I think MMR is definitely more crucial and it should be more matched with your visual skill tier because people are going to grind and they want to push that visual skill tier and they're going to get elo if they grind. And I feel like they should reset that so that visual skill tier is not too big of a discrepancy, too big of a difference versus your actual MMR. So I think it's a good idea and I like it for sure.
And also it stops people from like, if they get gold or something from not playing, like they just stop playing. And then it's really hard to get a lot more elo while you're ranking because those people that do have higher elo don't play.
Is that something you often see? Like I don't run into that very because I'm not up there at the top. So
I mean, I definitely personally do it. If I get gold, like I got gold, I didn't play on my account for like till I needed to play on it because of DK. But other than that,
Yeah.
I would never play on it ever again. And I think like that I shouldn't do that because I think it's cool ranking and just trying to get more elo. But yeah, I think it'll definitely solve that issue.
Well, yeah, really, Super Evil Megacorp needs to put in a leaderboard at some point, so there is like that extra incentive to know like you're number one or in the top 10. That would, I think, definitely make people play on those VG Gold accounts every day and make sure they don't lose that.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully we see that maybe next after this reset and kind of get some people out of there. But then the other thing coming in update 2.6 is Grace. Let me quickly run over her ability. She looks pretty neat and kind of a little cross between some of our heroes, and kind of see what you guys think here. So her heroic perk is called Retribution. Grace chains her normal basic attacks into a ground slam, dealing bonus weapon damage and slowing enemies in a wide area. If enemies are hit by the ground slam, her ability cooldown are reduced. Her A, Grace dashes to her target, striking them with an empowered retribution attack, so that's that ground slam. Nearby allies instantly gain directional holy shield. So that's kind of awesome. That continually faces the target while Grace gains a full holy shield that protects her from all sides. Then her B is called Holy Nova. After a short delay, Grace knocks enemies into the air, disabling them for a short time. If that attack hits at least one enemy, Grace immediately recovers from the ability. And then her ultimate is called Divine Intervention. Grace instantly surrounds herself and her target with a full holy shield and begins channeling, after which Grace targets receive a massive heal. So she seems like a tanky lance that heals, I guess.
Yeah.
To me, like reading this. And have you guys had a chance to play with her on the PBE and everything?
Yeah, I haven't played with her on PBE, but so just reading her description, it's way too many abilities. It sounds like she's like a lance with like talents given to her in actual gameplay. So let me go over the key ones. She can slow enemies. She has a slow, right, in one ability. And every ability that she lands or does either resets or cooldowns her ability. So it's kind of like Rona or Alpha or Idris when they auto attack, their abilities get a faster cooldown reduction. So that's two big perks, right? So a third perk, she has an empowered attack. She dashes and has an empowered attack, and she also applies a shield to herself and her allies. So that's like two more extra perks.
Right, and then it's two different shields. Like they get like a directional shield, and she gets like a full body shield. Yeah,
exactly. Look, I'm listing like 4 perks already. On top of that, if she overdrives that ability, she can. It's refresh upon casting a divine intervention. So she can use that ability twice in a fight, and that's just way too much perks in terms of CCing and barrier and ability block.
And she gets a knock up.
Yeah, and I didn't even go into the knock up yet. And on top of that, the knock up not only it's like a lance stun. I'm pretty sure it'll cancel ultimates and stuff like that. But she also like Lance's Scythian Wall when he overdrives it is immune to negative effects when she's casting this ability. So she's like a Lance, a Lyra can heal, and she's like a Finn. She gives a barrier around for everybody, and she's mobile as hell. So like I don't understand why they're introducing such a strong hero. We have to see what impact she'll make. But my fear is because her abilities scale. Like Holy Shield scales with crystal power, she's going to be a jungle carry. It's going to be double bruiser meta that's already leading that way given the current situation and state of the meta.
With Grumpjaw and Grace kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're going to get like a support like Catherine, Lance. Imagine her and Lance together. That's just insanely strong. And the heroes that are squishy and mobile and fun to watch like Skye are going to completely fall off the meta. Taka fall off the meta because double bruiser just counters anything squishy. So it's going to be more of a bruiser meta versus a assassin squishy fun to play watch meta. It's too much CC, too many perks. She has like 6 perks that I just mentioned, and she has a heal. Her ultimate gives her a full holy shield, and she heals on top of that. So that's kind of crazy. So that's why I think there's too many perks. given to her. They're gonna have to nerf. It's like when Vox came out, he had a barrier with every auto attack that he would give in. Zio knows all about that and how strong that was. So I feel like Grace is definitely OP, and she's gonna be banned right off the bat in competitive play.
Yeah, having that double bruiser and like tank meta in all MOBAs, like it circles around. It's a big circle on what the meta is, but it's the worst to watch. It's not fun to play because no one dies, and it's just like fights last forever. So yeah, have you had a chance to play her at all, Zio?
No, I haven't played her, and I didn't really check into her since she's a support or could be a jungle carry. But I mean, I think Sui does have a point. Like her abilities seem to have a lot of things like slow and especially the Holy Shield. That seems pretty interesting to me.
Yeah. Like what? Yeah, be interesting to see what happens and what extra stuff do you give her for these Brawl talents? Like how much stronger does she get? Who knows? I know a lot of the time in MOBAs they talk about power creep or hero creep. Like they just start throwing everything at them, and like the heroes that came out in the first year just seem like just lame, and they have to get reworked because these new heroes have all this cool stuff. They have all the perks and kit in one ability that one hero has in their entire kit. So
yeah, one thing I want to mention real quick, Brad, for the viewers is she's heavily crystal based, so she's a potential captain that builds a lot of CP. So I guess the sacrifice is she may have to sacrifice like more protective items like Crucible. None of her stuff scales with health, and she has like a lot of CPs. Like right now, just looking at it, this may change just by the way because it's PvE still and not yet released. But she has 200% on her crystal ratio for her Holy Nova B ability, which is a lot of damage she can output. So if anything, if they don't address the crystal ratios on her, people are going to play her as a jungle carry, and she's not even going to be played or meant to be played as a captain at all.
Yeah, I know people like to play everyone as a carry. I think it's more fun than sometimes the support roles. Like they just Grumpjaw's kind of that in between hero right now, where he's kind of going everywhere.
Right.
It's more fun to kill. It's more fun to kill people and build a damage item. So yeah, we'll see. I bet she does creep into the carry role quite a bit, or the jungle carry role. All right. Cool. Well, update 2.6. Get ready for it. Immortals, get ready to see what they're going to do, how the team's going to shake up. I'm excited to see you guys play this time. I think it's a really strong team, and it's exciting to hear how's it shaken up. So congratulations on that. I know we're, I think, 2 weeks away from the first summer season kicking off. I think so. I think that's right. So yeah, where can people find you, get in touch? On Twitter, you guys stream?
Well, I'm mainly on Twitter at DarkestZio, and I have other things, but I don't use them at all. So just Twitter.
Okay,
just Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at SuiJeneris, and then I'm also on Twitch at SuiJeneris, just my @GN. Just type it out. Definitely going to be streaming PB potentially next week before it's released, to show people a sneak peek into it, and definitely I'll be playing a lot of Grace on stream for sure.
Okay, get ready for that. And you stream like almost every day, right?
Yeah, I would say 3 to 4 times a week. I stream.
Okay, seems like you're always on when I look. Cool. I'll include links in the show notes, so everyone go check it out. Read up about this, the full roster, and then Shatter the Vain's on Twitter at Shatter the Vain, website shatterthevain.com. All the episodes get posted there, links to iTunes, Stitcher, the YouTube version. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review. Love seeing those. I'll be back with 161 next week. Take care.
Let's get this over with.